From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
The living conditions in migrant shelters have lawmakers worried about the future of these facilities. We tell you more about what the Yuma shelter is offering and plans for new development in South Phoenix.
And we give you a glimpse at what the future of 4th of July could look like with this new type of technology that can reduce the risk of wildfire danger.
Also, President Trump's plan for a military-inspired 4th of July celebration getting mixed reactions ahead of the holiday.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Jessie Jopali.
And I'm Matt Helgeson. Thank you for joining us.
Arizona became the center of a Nike shoe controversy involving racism, patriotism, and government subsidies, with just a few tweets from Governor Doug Ducey.
Cronkite News reporter Gabriel Moreno explains how 13 stars on the back of sneakers has drawn attention from across 50 states.
Governor Doug Ducey called Nike's decision to pull sneakers off the market unpatriotic. So Ducey made his own move. With this tweet, Ducey announced his intent to withdraw $1 million in state incentives to help build Nike's new manufacturing plant in Goodyear. Goodyear Mayor Georgia Lord is still willing to welcome Nike.
This deal is expected to bring more than 500 jobs and significant investment to our city. We will honor the commitment we made in our agreement.
Issues began when Nike released the new Air Max 1 USA sneaker that featured the Betsy Ross flag along the backside of the shoe. Nike soon pulled the shoe as Colin Kaepernick, the face of Nike's 30th anniversary Just Do It campaign, expressed his concern that the Betsy Ross flag is an offensive symbol because it was created during slavery.
And Kaepernick especially, a guy that has given up his career for political activism, understanding this brand and having used this brand to step out even further than he had before, it makes sense. And Nike has chosen to roll the dice with him. So this seems to be just another step in that direction.
New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham quote-tweeted Governor Ducey's post with a caption that read, "Hey Nike, let's talk," insinuating that if Arizona doesn't want the plant, she'd be more than happy to see Nike call New Mexico home. Cronkite News reached out to Nike today regarding what they plan to do next, but they have not yet responded. In the broadcast center, Gabriel Moreno, Cronkite News.
The construction for a new Yuma migrant shelter that's expected to house 500 people was completed earlier this week. U.S. Customs and Border Protection revealed more details about the temporary facility on Twitter. They say the structure is weatherproof and climate controlled, specifically for eating, sleeping, and personal hygiene. Photos from the tweet give more insight into what the facility looks like in Yuma. Prior to this facility opening, the Yuma sector could only house about 400 migrants, but officials say in recent months they've been dealing with overcrowding. The shelter's opening comes as the Department of Homeland Security's Office of Inspector General releases a new nonpartisan report about the living conditions inside the migrant shelters in Texas. The Inspector General says the prolonged detention of migrants without proper food, hygiene, or laundry facilities, some for more than a month, requires immediate attention and action. Arizona Congressman Greg Stanton visited 2 of these facilities earlier this week and shared his thoughts about what he saw. In his tweet, Stanton says in part, "I saw conditions no human being should endure for extended periods of time, especially children." Here are some of the images that Stanton was referring to that were released by the Department of Homeland Security. It shows people crowded inside small spaces and sleeping on the floor. Back here in Phoenix, a coalition of aid groups helping migrant families has taken a big step reopening the unused Ann Ott School in Phoenix as an overnight shelter. However, at least one neighborhood group plans to appeal the decision made by a city hearing officer. Cronkite News reporter Gabriella Collage is joining us now from the studio with more. Gabriella?
After a city hearing yesterday, the coalition walked away with the permit of use it was looking for. Now the focus is getting the unused school to meet city code, which will entail replacing the entire electrical panel. The estimated cost of that repair is about $150,000, but it will need to get done before the process can move forward. Today, we spoke with Pastor Hector Ramirez from the Christian church El Buen Pastor en Mesa, one of the local groups that is helping these migrants as they arrive in the valley. He says they've been overwhelmed and welcome the addition of the new overnight shelter.
It can be of great help, this new shelter for the migrants. However, it won't provide what we do here, which is healthcare, social relations, and also the spiritual support we offer to these folks, who arrive so shaken. We interact with them as a family. We are with them 24 hours a day until they move on.
But not everyone supports the decision of creating overnight shelter at the school. Members of the Nuestro Barrio Unidos Neighborhood Association say they plan to appeal the decision made at the hearing. In the studio, Gabriela Collage, Cronkite News.
Tanks rolled into Washington this morning, but it was for a celebration, not an invasion.
The tanks are just part of the military display President Donald Trump has ordered up for the 4th of July festivities on the National Mall, festivities that has some Trump critics seeing red.
Julian Parra.
Tomorrow is the 4th of July, and people will see plenty of red, white. But this year, they'll see an additional color, military green. And people this Independence Day have mixed feelings about this change.
I'm appalled at what Trump is doing to the 4th of July celebration here. It's not a military exercise.
But President Trump has promised a 4th of July celebration like no other. In addition to the entertainment and fireworks near the Capitol, Trump's Salute to America will offer fireworks and entertainment at the Lincoln Memorial, as well as a speech by the president, flyovers, and military displays. That's just fine with Juan Martinez, a veteran.
And I'm very, very proud. Me and my wife, we drove up here from Miami for this specific event, and I'm just proud to be an American. And I used to work on these vehicles when I was in 20-something years ago.
Juan's wife, Elena, says the president's event should be seen as a sign of support for veterans and a celebration of independence.
He wanted to show support for our military and for our 4th of July, which is really a celebration of our independence. So I figured this is the best way to show support, and that's why we're here.
But critics fear it will be more a celebration of Trump than of the holiday. They have complained about the cost and the use of military equipment. Many, like those from Code Pink, who were here today and disturbed by the militarization of the celebration.
No tanks, tanks for no tanks. Out of D.C., tanks out of D.C.
The protesters set up on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial until being told to leave due to maintenance being done on National Mall.
It's a celebration of the birth of the country, and this isn't right. He's making it all about him. He wanted a military parade, and he bought himself one.
In addition to the vehicle behind me, the celebration will also include a number of fighter jets and specialty planes for the 4th of July. In Washington, Julian Parras, Cronkite News.
The administration has been tight-lipped about costs for the event and who's paying. The Washington Post reported today that at least $2.5 million will come from a National Park Service fund for park repairs. Arizona Congressman Raul Grijalva joined with other Democrats to demand details on the event's funding and a list of park repair projects that might be affected. The Phoenix Police Department rolling out more body cameras today, equipping officers in the Cactus Park precinct with the devices. It's part of a plan to make sure all patrol officers and sergeants have body cameras by mid-August. Recently, the push for body cameras has become more urgent in the wake of the viral video, showing officers confronting a family after their 4-year-old daughter allegedly stole a doll from a store. At least 3 more precincts still need to receive the devices.
Valley cities are ranking #1 in the nation when it comes to job creation over the past year. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Phoenix, Mesa, Scottsdale area saw an increase of more than 66,000 non-farm jobs, while the state of Arizona as a whole saw 75,000 new jobs. The industries seeing the most growth are education and health services, professional and business services, and construction.
Coming up, we tell you more about drowning safety
and how you can protect your families this 4th of July. The safety tips a local organization is sharing with people of all ages before they get in the water.
Also, an alternative to traditional 4th of July fireworks. We give you a closer look at the technology replacing a longtime tradition on Independence Day.
Stay in the know on the go. At Cronkite News, we work hard to report the facts and keep you updated, whether we're on set or on the scene.
Taking it from the studio to the field. So I'm here in South Phoenix.
In Phoenix, we're just a click away. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or find us online at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Millions of people die every year from drinking dirty water. I would never have felt I had the ability to do something without ASU pushing me. We built filtration systems out of local materials with the people. To see those kids drink clean water for the first time, it's the most rewarding feeling that you can ever have. I went to ASU because I wanted to change the world. The thing I never would have expected is how the world would have changed me.
Some Arizona residents will be celebrating this 4th of July in a less traditional way. The town of Carefree is relying on a swarm of drones with LED lights for the second year in a row. Fireworks safety has been an issue, especially in Arizona with the wildfire risks. This new innovative way for fireworks displays is not only better for the environment, but also good for noise control. Les Patterson, the mayor of Carefree, spoke about the benefits of switching to this alternative show.
The overwhelming reason is fire. With the dry desert, the fire department always talking to us about that and just the risk of that. Second reason, fireworks scares a lot of animals. Another one is veterans. We've had veterans groups call us and say, for someone with PTSD who's been in a battlefield situation, the fireworks brings back all kinds of memories.
Ryan Sigmund, the co-founder of Firefly drone shows, never thought they would be as popular as they are today. He added that it's just a new form of media and a new form of nighttime entertainment. The event will be held at Savannah Spa and Resort Saturday night at 5 o'clock.
If you want to watch fireworks, you might want to check if your city is having a show. 7 communities in our state have canceled their fireworks due to the high wildfire risk. Heber Overgaard is the latest to join the growing list, announcing their decision Tuesday morning. Prescott Valley and Show Low announced their cancellations on Monday. The other cities were Cave Creek, Flagstaff, and Williams. While firework displays are canceled, the communities will still host their festivities, including food, games, and live entertainment. It's prime swimming season, especially with hot temperatures, and tomorrow's 4th of July celebrations. Today, several organizations gathered in Phoenix to remind us how to be safe in and around pools.
Cronkite News reporter Amanda Slee stepped into the pool to learn about the best safety tools.
With 2 recent drownings in the valley and the holidays coming up, members of the Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona want to make sure you're keeping not only your kids, but yourself safe.
Like adults say, I can swim, I don't need a life jacket. You'd need a life jacket no matter how good of a swimmer you are.
Elisa Hart lost her 2-year-old 9 years ago. She remembers she couldn't find her son, so she checked the usual hiding places, including the backyard.
I told myself, let me just check the backyard one more time. That's when I opened the door and I saw him at the bottom of the pool.
Hart now shares her story to help other families avoid the same tragedy. That starts with being vigilant, like having a designated water watcher.
You can't be barbecuing and watching your kid. You can't be reading a book, texting, those kind of things, keeping your eyes on the kids. It's eye-to-eye contact. Your eyes need to be in the pool if your child's eyes are in the pool.
You can also put your kids in swim classes, set up barriers around the pool, and install locks and alarms. Plus, there's many different styles of authorized life vests you can wear.
Make sure that this has an underwriter's laboratory and is approved by the Coast Guard.
Members of the Arizona Child Proofers want to make sure that you take pool toys like this out of the pool, as it's enticing for kids to get in the pool.
Put all the pool toys on the outside of your pool fence. Don't have anything up against the fence where they can climb up and get onto them. Make sure that your gate is always locked. You never, ever, 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 I don't know how I can say many evers, keep your gate propped open.
The biggest thing to remember is the 3 ABCs: adult, barrier, and classes. In Phoenix, Amanda Slee, Cronkite News.
Google is getting the green light from the city of Mesa. The tech company will receive $16 million in tax breaks over the next 25 years in exchange for building a new data center in the city. The facility is going to cost $1 billion and it will be located on 187 acres of farmland just north of Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. Construction is scheduled to begin within the next 5 years. Early predictions show it could contribute $61 million in tax revenue to the city of Mesa.
Coming up, with temperatures reaching over 100 degrees, auto safety is a top priority.
The extreme heat can put on your vehicle at risk for tire blowouts. We'll explain why they happen, along with some helpful tips on how to prevent them.
I'm Matt Berry, ESPN Sports Center anchor and graduate of ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. With its bachelor's and master's degrees in sports journalism, the Cronkite School is preparing the next generation of sports journalists to tell stories that matter, stories that excite, inspire, and inform. Cronkite immerses students in covering sports at all levels in one of the country's top sports markets. It's this hands-on experience under the guidance of award-winning sports media veterans that shape the top journalists of tomorrow.
Cronkite Noticias is the Spanish-speaking division of Cronkite News, covering topics such as economics, education, sustainability, immigration, and border relations. Cronkite Noticias strives to serve the Spanish-speaking community in Arizona. Under the guidance of prominent Spanish-speaking professionals, students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism develop content for our broadcast partner, Univision, as well as on Facebook and Twitter. Explore Cronkite Noticias at cronkitenoticias.azpbs.org.
As temperatures continue to rise, so do the chances of a tire blowout.
Believe it or not, avoiding a blowout is much easier than you think. Reporter Tanaya Williamson tells us what we can do to stay on the road during the hot summer months. Tanaya?
It turns out keeping your tires in good shape is not as difficult as you may think. In fact, the reason is much closer to the surface. One thing most Arizona drivers can say is they've seen plenty of tread on the roads from tires that have blown out. The reason behind it?
Air pressure really dictates whether a tire will last, whether a tire will fail quickly or not.
Darren Young is vice president of sales and marketing at Wheel Specialists Incorporated and says keeping the right amount of pressure keeps your tires intact.
Low air pressure causes heat, and the heat is what causes a tire to fail. If you have excessive heat, that's where a tire ultimately ends up failing because it does not have the correct load carrying capacity when you have low air pressure.
And it's not just low air pressure. Having too much can also be a problem.
For every 10 degrees that a tire gets hot, it increases 1 psi. So higher air pressure will cause separations and problems with your tires.
And what exactly is PSI?
Pound square inch. So it's volume of inside of the tire.
The proper PSI for tires are most commonly found on the inside panel of the driver's door on a car. It can be checked by using a gauge. Having the right PSI can keep you from having to replace your tires. But should you have a tire blowout, it could end up in the hands of ADOT.
The heat can lead to blowouts. So our maintenance crews are out looking for tire treads alongside the roads. Our contracted maintenance crews too are out there, and a lot of them wind up here at the maintenance yard, as you've seen.
Elliott says that seeing tire tread on the road is common this time of year, and he asked drivers to use precaution to avoid accidents.
If you see a tire tread in one of the travel lanes of a freeway, that's an emergency, and we ask you to call 911 if you think it is a hazard to cars.
In addition to calling 911 for tires obstructing a lane, ADOT also asked drivers to check their tires regularly and to pay close attention to how much air pressure is inside. One suggestion is to check every time you fill up your car. In the broadcast center, Tanai Williamson, Cronkite News.
On one of the busiest travel days of the year, drivers experienced delays on Interstate 17 near Anthem.
Arizona's Department of Transportation tweeting that a new brush fire ignited in the area. At one point, I-17 was shut down in both directions.
Crews have not said what started the fire.
The heat is definitely an issue when it comes to auto safety.
Now let's see if the heat will affect our holiday weekend. Here's Nikisha Johnson with the forecast.
Yes, this weekend will be a warm one. More on that in just a moment. First, we're going to take a look at our state's current temperatures across the valley. Here in Phoenix, we are at 107, Yuma 102, Tucson 101, and Lake Havasu City 100, while Flagstaff is experiencing 77. However, we will see those temperatures slowly start to drop into the night. At 6 p.m., we will still be at 103, and then at 7 p.m., we'll get into 102. We won't see those 90s until about 8 p.m. tonight, but we'll see it start to drop slowly, and we'll hit 94 at 10 p.m. Looking at tomorrow for our 4th of July holiday, for the highs, we are going to be experiencing 106 in Phoenix, Tempe, and Chandler, 105 in Queen Creek, Mesa, and Paradise Valley, while Cave Creek will be at 99. More in depth with tomorrow's temperatures. If you're going to be outside, whether that's at the pool, the lake, or just barbecuing, I recommend doing it earlier in the morning or late in the evening because it will be hot. At 8 a.m., we will already be at 85 degrees. 10 a.m., we'll hit 92. Noon, we'll be at 97. And by 2 p.m., we're going to get into those triple digits. And we will see that going on into the afternoon. And that's not even our high for tomorrow. Our high for tomorrow is 106. Same with Friday. And then Saturday, we're going to go up to 107. And then Sunday and Monday, we're going to see some clouds coming in with clear skies Tuesday and Wednesday. Our highs will still range from about 106 to 107. We'll go down on Monday to 105 and then up to 109 next Wednesday. Our lows will be those low 80s and high 70s throughout the week. I hope you guys have a fun and safe 4th of July holiday tomorrow. Live from the Weather Center, I'm Nikisha Johnson with Cronkite News.
A bald eagle has been released into the wild 4 months after undergoing surgery for a shattered leg bone. The Arizona Game and Fish Department says the 3-year-old eagle was released recently at Horseshoe Reservoir, northeast of Phoenix. According to the department, the bird was found in February on the ground at a dairy in Queen Creek after shattering its femur. The surgery performed on the eagle gave it another shot at survival. The hope is the eagle will become old enough to breed and help bolster Arizona's eagles population.
Coming up, the Gold Cup battle between Mexico and Haiti.
Neither team was at home, but it sure felt like that for one side.
Thousands of fans showing up to celebrate their heritage and support Mexico's national team.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickerburg.
Live in Los Angeles.
In Cleveland, in Washington, in Louisville.
From Jerusalem.
Live in Philadelphia. From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
The 2019 Gold Cup semifinal match took place at State Farm Stadium last night, where Mexico beat Haiti by a score of 1-0.
But it was the presence of Team Mexico fans that made the match even more intense. Reporter Kyla Wilcher was there to experience the passion of Mexico's loyal supporters. Kyla?
Fans of Team Mexico flocked to Glendale to show their support and make it clear that the local population has pride for the team down south. The side of the CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinal match between Mexico and Haiti seemed anything but neutral. The pitch was surrounded by a sea of green jerseys, mixed in with red and white, all supporting Mexico.
If anybody from Mexico is hearing this, Viva Mexico.
Mexico has won the Gold Cup a tournament record 7 times, and fans carried that energy into the game. Some supporters said the packed crowd shows Mexico's local impact.
Our team feels our presence, even though, Mexico, United States, but at the end of the day, it's diversity and it's what matters.
Y eso te lo hace la gente de México.
That's something that the Mexican fans do. They are constantly supporting and screaming. And for us, it's been a wonderful surprise, and I think that's something that doesn't happen all over the world. It happens here in the United States with the Mexican people and in Mexico, of course.
mundo. Pasa acá en Estados Unidos con toda la gente de México y en México mismo, por supuesto.
According to a 2014 Pew Research study, Phoenix has a Hispanic population of 2 million, 90% of which is of Mexican origin. Some fans appreciate getting to link their heritage with their hometown.
We're originally from Mexico, and some of our grandma, grandpas are over there, and so we just support it.
Mexico won their semifinal match, but local fans certainly made it clear that win or lose, Team Mexico can feel at home here in the Valley. The quest for the Gold Cup is almost over. Mexico heads to Soldier Field in Chicago for the championship on Sunday. They'll play the winner of tonight's semifinal match between the U.S. and Jamaica. In the newsroom, Kyla Wilcher, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon.
On the next Arizona Horizon, we will have more on the Nike shoe controversy that could cost hundreds of jobs in the West Valley. And the Herberger Theater Center celebrates its 30th anniversary. It's next Arizona Horizon.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.